Dear friends, welcome to another episode of The Informant Military. Today we're diving into a startling threat issued by the Venezuelan dictator, Nicolás Maduro. During a recent rally, Maduro declared that if he doesn't win the upcoming election, Venezuela will descend into civil war. But what does this ominous warning really mean for the country? If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. In a charged rally, Nicolás Maduro made a chilling statement. If he loses the election on July 28th, Venezuela will be engulfed in bloodshed and civil war. But is this threat credible? Could Venezuela truly spiral into civil war if Maduro doesn't win? Those who follow the news closely know that the presidential elections in Venezuela are marred by serious fraud allegations. Maduro has systematically blocked his main opponents from running, notably Maria Corina Machado, whose candidacy was revoked by the Venezuelan Supreme Court, a body under Maduro's control. She was accused of associating with Juan Guaidó, whom Maduro labels a usurper. To replace her, her party nominated Corina Iores, but a mysterious technical glitch on the Electoral Tribunal's website blocked her candidacy, an issue that oddly affected only her. Through these backdoor tactics, Maduro has effectively sidelined his primary competitors. Although some candidates claim to oppose him, many are actually complicit in Maduro's regime. This strategy of eliminating opposition candidates was also heavily employed by Vladimir Putin in Russia's presidential elections this past March. Putin managed to imprison and disqualify all potential challengers. Maduro, an avid admirer of Putin, has closely followed this playbook, positioning himself as the only strong candidate with a real chance of winning. But if this is the case, why the threat of civil war in the event of a loss? The fear stems from Maria Corina Machado's efforts to forge alliances with other opposition parties. Despite her disqualification, these coordinated efforts, if successful, could lead to Maduro's defeat. Though this is a remote possibility, Maduro's threat reveals that it's a scenario he takes seriously. Does this mean the risk of civil war in Venezuela is real? Not quite, and the reason is straightforward. For a civil war to occur, both sides need to be armed, and currently, Maduro's regime is the only heavily armed faction in Venezuela. Through well-orchestrated maneuvers, Maduro maintains complete control over the military, both legally as president and commander-in-chief, and illicitly through the cartel of the Suns. According to multiple international law enforcement agencies, Maduro allegedly leads a massive drug trafficking cartel, funneling hundreds of tons of drugs to the United States via Mexican cartels. Investigative journalist Hector Landeta reports that this cartel's roots trace back to the 1990s, when Colombian FARC members entered Venezuela and collaborated with the Bolivarian Revolutionary Movement 200, founded by Hugo Chavez. This cartel later fell under Chavez's control, and after his death in 2013, Maduro's. Maduro has since directly involved top Venezuelan military commanders in the cartel. By ensuring these commanders receive a steady flow of millions of dollars, he has also entangled them in a narco-terrorist organization. This means that if Maduro is ousted or loses an election, these military leaders could face imprisonment and prosecution by a new Venezuelan government. Thus, by embedding military commanders in drug trafficking operations, Maduro ensures their loyalty and their willingness to do anything to prevent his fall. Therefore, when Maduro warns of a civil war if he loses the election, what he's really saying is that the military will rise not just to protect his presidency, but more critically, to safeguard the multi-million-dollar drug trafficking enterprise of the Cartel of the Suns. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, Maduro has also implicated the Venezuelan judiciary in the cartel, notably Michael Moreno, the president of the Venezuelan Supreme Court. The U.S. government has offered a $15 million reward for information leading to Maduro's capture, $10 million for Diosdado Cabello, Hugo Carvajal, and Cliver Alcalá Cordones, and $5 million for the arrest of the Supreme Court president, who ordered the removal of Maduro's primary political adversaries. If Maduro is defeated in the election, a highly unlikely event given his control over the vote-counting apparatus, Venezuela will not plunge into civil war, but rather into a civilian military dictatorship led by Maduro, supported directly by the Supreme Court and maintained by the military, which controls the country's drug trafficking operations. Stay tuned for more updates and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for the latest analysis and information on global geopolitical issues.
El 28 de julio, si no quieren que Venezuela caiga en un baño de sangre, en una guerra civil fratricida, producto de los fascistas, garanticemos el más grande éxito, la más grande victoria de la historia electoral de nuestro pueblo.